Good morning, everybody. We are back again. We are still in Firenze. What's going on in your world? Let us know in the comment section below. My name is Conor McGilligan, and this, of course, is Leeds. It's not the room mill, really, is it? We haven't got the graphics, we haven't got this, that, and the other up. So, no, we're not having it as the room mill. Not this, but we are talking transfer news. I nearly got mowed over. Now, what I will say, everybody, is I did a video yesterday, right? I did a video yesterday and I had to redo it, okay? Had to redo it. Why? Because I mentioned it several times yesterday. I got called stupido. And then two people nearly ran me over. And I'm blaming you, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing this, right? So it's your fault. But yes, everybody, got a few bits to natter on about this morning. As I say, I'm trying to keep you guys up to date with a few bits and my opinion anyway. I'm sure you've been kept up to date with other bits anyway, but you seem to enjoy my reaction to these things, as the last two videos have suggested. So let's get on to the main bit of the discussion this morning. Ben Davies looks like he's going to be signing an extension at Tottenham. Now, that doesn't mean that it's done for Leeds United and Ben Davies whatsoever. It just means that Tottenham are going to be able to get a really good value for him when it comes to potentially obviously leaving the club. Apparently Leeds, according to Ben Jacobs and a few others, have been very keen on Davies and have actually had contact with Tottenham Hotspur for 18 months now regarding Ben Davies on and off, and just keeping an eye on his contract details. TBR reporting something very, very similar as well. Always just keeping tabs on Davies. Now, I don't mind him, Ben Davies. I don't mind it whatsoever, to be honest with you. I think it's experience. I think it's, don't get me wrong, someone who's injured fairly frequently, but I just think he's dependable in the Premier League. It's a real steady signing, which I think you make. It's once again that risk versus reward thing. Is it going to absolutely hammer you in terms of doing it? What's the risk really? I don't think he's going to be on massive wages when it comes to Premier League comparison to other centre backs. I think he's going to be someone who can come in, fill in, maybe at left back, maybe at left centre back, maybe just in a back three, which I know Leeds, I think, will maybe utilise next season at points. You'd hope so, with a little bit of pragmatism in certain games, certain phases. So I don't mind Ben Davies, don't mind it whatsoever. So let me know what you think in the comment section below as well. Moving on to another left-sided centre back, Nico Elvedi, compared to John Stones this week by TBR. Bit of a stretch, but I think what we're talking about is his ability to play out from the back, his slalom-like approach to getting the ball and moving through the defensive phase into the midfield phase as well. And looks like a really good player, looks like a very decent player. Can't profess to have watched him week in, week out, Nico Elvedi, but from the bits that I've seen, looks like he transitioned nicely, uses his body well, physical, seems to as well read the game very well. Perception is a big thing with centre-backs, we're all very aware of that. Where is that ball going to land? Seems to be absolutely perfect at that as well, seems to be very, very decent. So Elvedi for about 8 million euros, we've spoken about it before. Fantastic. Yeah, why not? Let's get him in. Let's get them all in. Okay, Habib Diarra. Now, this is the one that went mental yesterday. Went absolutely mental yesterday. Habib Diarra, Strasbourg's central midfield maestro. Can pretty much play anywhere in the midfield composition. 6, 8, 10. And when I've watched him, and I'm just being hypercritical here, in terms of, because I'll be honest with you guys, I can't profess to know that much about Habib Diarra, I'll be completely honest with you guys. But when I've watched him, all I'd say is, for people saying that he's the complete midfielder, he looks exceptional, looks very, very good. But what I would say is, I'm not 100% sure when I've seen people saying, he could play in that number 10 very well. I'm not sure there's that much innovation when it comes to him as a natural football player, like a natural number 10. I don't think he's got that creative tendency of which we've been wanting when it comes to that midfielder, the midfielder who has it all. I think box to box, he looks brilliant, looks strong, covers ground very well. Claude Makelele, Essien, Kante, vibes about him. But maybe it's one of those where Leeds would then still have to actively go out and buy a creator, buy an innovator in that midfield, because I don't think he's going to provide that. But in terms of covering ground, in terms of being 21, in terms of having years ahead of him of which he's going to develop, and that career is just going to go like that in terms of trajectory. He looks like an absolute monster, and a goal threat as well, a real goal threat. But the only side to his game of which, when I've been watching him and when I've heard people describing him in terms of what he's like, is probably just, I'd maybe push back on that creative side of his game of which I'm watching him a little bit and I'm thinking, you don't get that vibe from him a little bit. I don't think he's that way inclined as much as maybe a little bit more of a natural person in that midfield with a little bit of guile. But what I will say is he's a ball carrier as well. Once again, keep using this term, but press resistance is huge in football. Looks like he's got that. He looks like he's an absolute ready-made Premier League midfielder. So yeah, I like it. 26 million euros. 26 million euros for Strasbourg. Obviously Strasbourg's captain as well. Quite surprising, because Strasbourg and Chelsea are part of the same group. But Chelsea haven't maybe made a move. I think he could play higher than Leeds. Watching him, I think will probably seamlessly fit in as arguably our best player to start off. And what I will say, guys, is the links that we've had, I think, have been excellent so far. You know, you look at the likes of Bijol, you look at the likes of Habib Diarra. You know, these are top links, top links. And I think even when you look at, we were speaking the other day about Rodrigo Muniz, these are top additions for Leeds United. Talking on a relative stance, these are really, really good additions. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. And I don't know how true this is. This is what I'll say. But according to Sky Sports, Leeds United have been in contact with Norwich over the signature of Josh Sargent. So I just knew this would at some stage with Farke being at Leeds, and if it is true with Farke being at Leeds and the connection there, I just had a feeling at some stage that this would rear its head, and it has done. So I'm not sure if it's viable. I don't know if it's true. It probably isn't. I'm hoping it's not anyway. But I don't know. I mean, look, I'm a big fan when it comes to the certain type of player that Leeds are looking at, of Beto. I like Beto. I like Rodrigo Muniz. I like Promise David. I like players like this who are going to really elevate Leeds' style of play by being a certain player. I think my worry with someone like Sargent is it would be a massive risk, especially with the money that you'd be paying, which, if reports are to be believed, that would be 17-18 million quid via Sky Sports on Josh Sargent, when we're talking about having players in that spine, really, which I'm really happy with in terms of Leeds developing that of 30 million, and then just sporadically adding to the squad in and around. So yeah, not for me. But then, you know, Beto, on the other hand, the rumours are still strong with Leeds and Beto. Leeds apparently having continued contact again, according to Ben Jacobs, TBR. Continued contact with Everton, and Everton want, I think, 20 million quid it is. Continued contact with both clubs about Beto. So very different strikers. Now, would Sargent come in and be that second striker? I wouldn't mind that. You know, if it's once again it's a different profile and style to Joel Peru. I've mentioned several times about Peru that off the bench, we spoke about this last season. Unfortunately, Matteo didn't get to the heights of which I believed he would, and other people believed he would as well. I think there's reasons for that, but did he take his chance at points? No, he didn't. I've been brutally honest with you, no, he didn't. And we've said that all season. But at the very beginning of the season, I did like the combo, even though it wasn't quite working for Matteo. I did quite like the combo of Peru coming off the bench, and he was deadly off the bench. Very good. Teams got tired, and with his technical ability, he was able to finish them off. We saw it against Cardiff, we saw it in other games, etc, etc. So, big fan of it, don't mind it whatsoever. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because Peru off the bench, I quite like in the Premier League. After having a bit of a think about it, I don't mind it in the Premier League. I think where he finds himself on the edge of the area, he's not an out-and-out 9 fox in the box for me, he never has been. But coming on as a substitute in the latter embers of the game, finding himself just on the edge of the area. This, by the way, is where I nearly got ran over yesterday. So we'll see if it happens again. Nearly did. It actually nearly did. I'm being stared at. Oh my god. Oh my god. If you could have seen this yesterday, where this nearly happened 3 or 4 times when I was doing this. Not happy. Nearly got ran over twice again. I didn't get stupido this time though. But where were we? Yeah, so when you're talking about Peru, I don't mind him coming off the bench. I think he could get a few goals in the Prem. You know? Last sort of maybe 15, 20 minutes, opposition defence isn't as focused and as concentrated. It hasn't the level of concentration that maybe the one side earlier on in the game. Peru arriving late, yeah, I think it could work. I think it could work as maybe 6 or 7 goals, hopefully in the Premier League, who knows. But his replacement would have to be Sargent. There's no way Leeds can go into a season in the Premier League with Sargent and Peru as your starting 2. I mean, even, to be fair, Beto and Peru is a little bit of a risk. But Beto gives you a little bit more, in my opinion, when it comes to the physicality and being able to play off Beto. Yeah, it'd be a massive risk, Sargent. It'd be a huge risk, and that's why I kind of mentioned the whole Farker thing. There's got to be, and it could be, I keep saying this, it could be sporting director-led recruitment, of course it could. And listen, the club will be very, very aware of how good Josh Sargent is, of course, and there's a reason that they're making the efforts to go and sign him. I just think alongside that, you've got the club looking at players like Nico Elvedi, Xhaka Bijol, you know, Habib Diarra, Rodrigo Muniz, these types of players. And if you're looking at these types of players, and then you've also got, with the greatest of respect, Leeds looking at Josh Sargent, it doesn't really marry up. So I'm kind of hoping that this is just paper talk and it's just an obvious link between Farker and Sargent. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and as well, everybody, apparently now there's rumours coming out stating that our boy Matteo is ready to leave. He's ready to leave Leeds United. Reports suggesting this morning he's ready to leave and take on the new challenge in his career. So we'll wait and see how that develops. But guys, it has been another stream where I nearly get run over. It's not going well. She's not happy either. Yeah, I don't know, like, you vloggers do this sort of stuff all the time. The amount of dirty looks you get. But guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been Connor. Again, slap a like on the video. Do me a favour, can we hit 1,000? We did on the first vlog, if that's what you want to call these. But I think you guys actually really enjoy these. So maybe I'll extend them. It's been an absolute pleasure, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share if you can, to your friends who maybe haven't seen this sort of content. It's been an absolute pleasure. My name's been Connor McGilligan, and I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.